come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold. Excuse me. Ray, do not forget that there is a Christmas Eve service at 4 o'clock. Man, they always change the times. Oh, man, I am sorry. I apologize. But since I'm here, my name's Ray. I'm custodian, janitor, keys guy. They gave me a title one time called Minister of Maintenance. You know, they try to make everything sound so spiritual around here, and so that was kind of the title they thought they'd give me, even though it's not on a shirt or anything, or in the bulletin. I don't have it in there, but that's who I am, so glad you're here tonight. There's nothing else going on, so y'all bear with me. I love Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is just a good time. In fact, several years ago on Christmas Eve, my life was changed, and let me just tell you about it just a moment while I'm here. Wife and I and the kids, we lived up north, okay? We lived north where it would get a little bit colder. Even though it's getting cold tonight, it would get colder, and you get snow and that kind of stuff. And we were always up there. And I love my wife and kids to death, and we just wanted to live up there. Got a few acres, you know, that kind of thing, and so we really enjoyed it. But my wife, I love my wife, but she was kind of a Jesus person. You know what I'm talking about? Talking about Jesus a lot, and went to church a lot, and that kind of stuff. And Christmas was coming around. I knew what was going to happen. You see, I don't mind her and the kids going to church and doing their church things, but old Ray, man, I just couldn't handle that, what they call incarnation, that God would become a man. I just couldn't. I couldn't handle that part. I struggled with that. I don't mind the wife and the kids going. I love my wife and kids. They can go, and I'm a good guy. But man, when it came to that, I just couldn't. But I knew what was going to happen. Here come my honey baby up to me, and she says, "Ray, I'd really like for you to go to Christmas Eve service." I put my foot down, and I said, "Nope, honey, I'm not going this year." I said, I just can't go this year. I don't mind you and the kids going. You just go, and I tell you what I'll do. I'll keep the fire going. I'll keep everything warm, and it'll just be fine. I'll be awake when you get back and all that kind of stuff. And so sure enough, she and the kids got in the car, and they started leaving. It had been snowing a little bit, and the snow was kind of picking up and that kind of stuff. Now you're thinking, "Oh, Ray, are you that good a husband letting your wife drive in the snow?" Listen, she can drive better in the snow than I can. So, I mean, she was fine. So she took off for church, and so what that meant Ray was home alone. And so I had what was called Ray time. So I took my rocking chair, got the fire going. I got my paper, thought I'd catch up on the news and on the scores and everything. And you guys know what it's like to have Ray time. Sometimes you just need Ray time. And that's what I was doing. I was just reading along, and all of a sudden there was this thump. And I thought, what in the world was that? I thought maybe it's nothing, so went back to reading, checking the scores, and all of a sudden, thump! It happened again. And I thought, I bet it's those Johnson kids down the street throwing snowballs at my house. If they do it one more time, I'm coming after them. Ray's coming after them. So I settled back in, and sure enough, the next thing, thump, and I said, that was it. I went to the door, and I opened it up, and I said, "You kids!" There wasn't any kids there. I was yelling at nobody. But I looked at what was happening what was happening was this, is that I was in there in my warmth of my house, and I had this big window, and what was happening is these little birds, these sparrow-type birds, they wanted to get into my house because it was warm in there, and they were freezing to death out here, so they would fly into my window. Boom! I thought, man, what are those birds doing? They can't get in my house. They're going to kill themselves. No, boom, there goes another one. And I thought, man, what am I going to do to help these birds out? They're going to just freeze to death out here. I don't know what to do about it. So I'm thinking, Ray, come on. And then I had an idea. We had a barn where the kids kept their pony at. So I went back there, out there to the barn in the snow, tregging along, and I opened the door up. And I said, there you go. I cut the light on inside. Now, there you go, birds. Just fly into the barn and everything's fine. You're going to be fine. Go in the barn. Well, did you know they didn't go in the barn? They were scared of me. So I tried to shoo them. Get in there, birds. Get in there. I'm trying to save you. I'm here for your good. And I'm trying to get in there. And I was too big. I was scaring them to death. So I had this idea. I said, Ray, here's another idea. So I took some breadcrumbs, that Hansel and Gretel thing, and I put some bread down, put some bread down, and there you go. And I'm thinking, now a smart bird will eat a little bit, eat a little bit, eat a little bit. And then I got them in the barn, and they're fine. So I've got this idea. And so I go to the back of them, and I kind of shoo them a little bit towards the bread and try to get them going that direction. And, they wouldn't do it. I said, come on, birds, I'm here for your good. Why are you so afraid of me? And I'm thinking, man, I'm here to help these birds, and they're going to freeze to death out here because they're not listening to what I'm saying. And then I thought, I think the only way I can get through to these birds is that if I became a bird so that I could speak to them in their language. If I became a bird, all of a sudden the lights came on. That's what Christmas is. You see, God was so big that I was afraid of him. I couldn't understand him. He was beyond me. And then all of a sudden he became reality in the man Jesus so that I could know him. When all of a sudden that realization hit, lo and behold, the bells at the church started ringing in Christmas. And they started ringing in that song that I was singing when you overheard me, "Oh, come, all ye faithful." And it said that, come and behold him. When I heard that and understood, I just, out there in the snow, I just dropped to my knees. And I said, God, if you're real, would you be real to old Ray? God, all of a sudden I understand what Christmas is all about. It's not about a bunch of presents. It's not a bunch of stuff. It's about you coming to earth as a man so that we could understand. So God, take Ray. Now that was many years ago, but I got to tell you, my life's never been the same since. That's why I like Christmas Eve so much. I'd probably feature a group this size. There's probably people just like me, skeptics, people that questioned and people wondered. And maybe it's time for you to understand and behold him, to see him as he is, to behold him. And that's our prayer. That's my birthday gift and wish on Jesus' birthday for you, is that you would behold him.